Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sierra. I also go by Sierra Elise if you didn't know already. Today we're going to be doing a review slash tutorial on the new Narcissist Wanted palette. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now guys, the palette is amazing. I loved using it. It performed really well. But you'll see how I got to, use the palette and see the look that I created that you see right here. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you are subscribed already, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And let's jump into the tutorial. Okay, you guys, so on this palette, all the shades are listed on the back of the palette. So yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to like name the shades, but I will point out each shadow that I'm going to use. So starting off in the crease, I'm going to take a mixture of these two shades right here, these two like camel brown shades, and I'm just going to take that on a fluffy blending brush and just go in my crease. I love this palette because it comes with a mirror, which is really great because I mean, you're spending $59 for a palette. You need to have a great mirror in there so you can use so you won't have to use your other mirrors. So I'm just taking that into the crease. Again, if you've seen my last tutorial, I go in windshield wiper motions, just going back and forth in the crease, making sure that I do lay down a transition shade so my other shadows can blend in really nice. So now I have those two shades laid down. I'm going to take this really gorgeous blush tone shade, and I'm going to use it on the outer corner and the crease of my eye. So I'm taking this Anastasia brush. This comes in all her eyeshadow palettes. It's not a bad brush, you guys. Like, if you throw away those brushes, please don't, because they're really good. So I'm going to take that and just focus it right here on the outer corners of my eyes. This is really pretty. And what I'm noticing about this palette already is that it doesn't have a ton of fallout, which is, it's really good, and the pigment is really good. The shadows blend really well, especially the mattes. They're blending really well, you guys. So I'm just taking that on the outer corner and focusing that in the crease of my eye. Okay, guys, so I just finished blending that blush shade on the outer corners of my eyes, and I love this color. You know what? I was thinking about doing this all over as a smoky eye, but I want to use the other shades in the palette, so I might do this look a little bit later. You guys go check out my Instagram. I might do a look like a smoky eye with just this color all over the lid, really pretty. But I do want to use this really pretty shimmery shade right here because it's calling my name. It's like a rose gold. So pretty. So I'm going to use that on my lid, and I'm going to take a flat brush, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to pack that onto the center of my lid. This shade is gorgeous already. What I am noticing that it does have a ton of glitter. So it's not like your flat metallic. It has glitter, like really fine glitter. I don't mind it because I love personally a lot of shimmer. Like, I'm just a glitter type of girl. But even if you don't like glitter eyeshadows, they do have some really pretty satins in here that you can use on your lid, and you can just use this as a topper, really. But I'm going to use this all over my lid because I'm extra and I just like to have that glitter. So I'm just packing this all over the lid area and kind of blending that into that outer shade that we used first to really, migrate those colors together. And you can wet these and they will work just as well, but I'm just going in with the dry brush. But like I said, you can wet them to make them, more pigmented, but I like them dry. I don't feel like I have to go in with the extra step. Okay guys, now that I laid down that Mendoza shade, I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush, and I'm taking the darkest shade in the palette. This is a matte. This is Coconut Grove. I'm gonna use Coconut Grove to really deepen my eyes, and I'm only gonna use a little bit because this shade is super pigmented. I'm just gonna tap off the excess and literally just touch it on the outer parts of my eye. Use a really light hand, you guys, because this can get crazy really fast. You just want to add depth. And I'm taking that pencil brush and I'm just kind of carving out the shape of my eye. And the thing with eyeshadow, you guys, is just blending. Like, you have to blend to make sure all your colors stand out. So I just kind of lay my colors down first, and then I'll use the other brushes that I use to go back and blend the previous colors that we used. So it is about patience and just, take your time. Like, don't get frustrated. Just take your time and just really blend those shadows out. It's worth it, trust me. So like I said, I'm just going in with Coconut Grove and blending that out with my pencil brush. And I'm going to take that Anastasia brush that I had that blush shade on. I'm going to dip back into that shade right here, and I'm just going to blend Coconut Grove with that blush shade. And just go back and forth. Some of these shades, most of these shades are limited edition. I think it's 2 shades in the palette that are staples. Like you can actually buy these as singles at any NARS boutique. This one is Coconut Grove, is a staple. I have a ton of these in like all of my eyeshadow palettes, and it's a really good dark brown. It's like a black brown. It's super good. And then this lighter shade is Biarritz. It's a really great shade. But I just use that to kind of like tap over the lid, even if you just want to add a lighter shade onto your, you know, lid area or in the brow bone. It's really nice. So yeah, it's just a really good, those are 2 staple shadows that NARS has. But I'm going back in and I'm just blending. I'm loving already the way the shadows are blending together. The quality of these are really amazing. As you can see, I have a really perfect blend on the eye, and I love that, because the thing is with some shadows is that it doesn't blend, and it's so hard when you're working with darker, more colorful shades. Sometimes they don't blend, sometimes they could be splotchy. These are not. They work well, which I'm really not surprised, because most NARS shadows work excellent anyway. They perform really well. So the quality didn't really change on these. They work pretty much the same. What I am going to do is go back into that shade Mendoza, and I am going to mix this shade in right here. It's like a really light glittery shade. I'm going to use that too, and I'm going to tap that over my lid again just to add a little more brightness to the eye. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back in with my angled brush, and I'm going to use Coconut Grove as my liner. I don't want a super defined line because my eye look is kind of smoky, so I'm going to tap my brush into Coconut Grove and use my shadow as a liner. If you're not a person, or if you're a person who doesn't really like a defined liner, this is a great trick to use. Just take a little bit of black or a dark brown shadow, or just even a brown shadow, and just use it as your liner to just line your eyes. I do this a lot, especially when I just don't feel like finding an eyeliner to use. I just use shadow, and I just go on top and just really define my lash line. So that's just a great tip that you guys can use when you just either being lazy or you don't like using liner. Okay guys, so I did step off camera and added some lashes. These are the Kiss lashes in the style Poise. I used them in my last video and I really did like them. They're super wispy, they're super natural, and I didn't really want to cover my eye look, so these worked out perfectly. I am going to go back in with Coconut Grove and just define my liner and to really conceal my lash band as well. So I'm going back in with that darker brown and just going over the lash. Okay you guys, so I just lined my lips with Cork lip liner, and that's by MAC Cosmetics. And then I'm going in with my lipstick. This was a MAC collaboration with Nicki Minaj. This is the color The Pink Print, and I'm just going to use that in the center. And then I'm going to top it off with this gloss by NARS. This is in the color Super Vixen. So I'm just going to use that to add a little bronziness. I love this. Okay guys, so now that we're done with the look, let's talk a little bit about this palette. I love it. The shades performed really well. The mattes were awesome. The shimmer shades were bomb. I didn't really play with the satins too much, but just by the swatches that I did earlier, seems like the satins work really well. If you're wondering what blush I have on, I do have on Orgasm and Taj Mahal blush by NARS. And yeah, this palette worked really well, you guys. I definitely recommend it. It's $59 if you want to go out and buy it. Subscribe if you did like this video, and let me know what videos you guys want me to do next. Thank you, and thanks for tuning in.